There are many demands going on for legalizing cryptocurrencies and recognizing them as tradable commodities. But what are these cryptocurrencies and will it help us revive the economy? Hello everyone,
I am Rahul Deodhar.
I am Prasanna Naidu and you are listening to the RightViews podcast. So, in this episode, we are going to talk about cryptocurrencies in general. And also, as I said before, that there are announcements being made by many people working in the crypto market, if we can call that. And their demands are like they want the cryptocurrencies to be recognized as a tradable commodity, just like cash or any currency, and provide clarifications in terms of applicability of tax, etc. One thing I would like to clarify is this episode was recorded before the budget session. So basically, we'll start with what is a cryptocurrency and how does it work. From what I know, cryptocurrency is nothing but a internet-based medium of exchange, which uses cryptographic functions to conduct financial transactions. And like currencies usually use a blockchain technology to gain decentralization and transparency. So there is no central authority authorizing these exchanges. Is it, Rahul sir?
Uh, yes, that is true. But as usual, there are a lot more complications to this. See, what is happening is cryptocurrency has got multiple dimensions. So, first of all, let me take you to the very primitive stage of recording of transactions. So, or exchange of transactions. So, in what happens in generally, let's say, when you want to go and buy a mobile phone, you go to the shop, you pick out the mobile phone, and you say mobile phone. He says that it is 50,000 rupees. You take 50,000 in cash and you pay that cash to the merchant. Merchant gives you mobile phone. This is a simple cash transaction where you have exchanged this token, which is nothing. This is of no value. It's a what value comes from authorization by the Reserve Bank. So Reserve Bank has claimed that this is worth 100 rupees. This one note is worth 100 rupees. One is worth 200 rupees. So you can use them. So you are using them or to exchange for mobile phone. Now what happens is that this depends on the government's ability to supply this money. Okay, which means you are in the control of money under the government. So this new system of currency, new system of medium of exchange was thought about. Now let me be clear, as of now Bitcoin is used for certain transactions, but it is not qualified, it does not qualify as a medium of exchange or a currency in normal terms. We'll come to that in a bit. As of now, it can very well mature and come into its own, but as of now it doesn't qualify. So let us go one step further to understand what is this cryptocurrency kind of thing. So cryptocurrency is nothing but a digital currency which has got three elements. One is it is digital in nature, so it does not exist in real life. So you cannot see it. It's like a computer email. Now immediately you can say, let's say it's like a photograph on WhatsApp. Now immediately you can say ki, like a photograph can be forwarded. I can also forward this cryptocurrency to multiple people and then or make multiple copies of that and start spending. Suppose I take a photograph of a note of which is said Bitcoin note and I send you $10,000 worth of Bitcoin and then I made a photocopy, copy paste, Control C, Control V and send it to someone else. Then it will become a problem. Then nobody will know who is the real owner of that money, right? So, to this transaction between you and me gets recorded. So, when the money is generated, every transaction is recorded and it is recorded in something called as a distributed ledger. A distributed ledger is nothing but like our register, which is, let's say you want to record bank transactions or property dealing, property register hota hai. Same thing, there is a currency register, but it is digital again. Okay, it's like an Excel sheet. Money is created. First step, money is created. $100 worth of money is created. This 100 goes to Prasanna Naidu. Prasanna Naidu spends it to mobile shop. So third entry is Prasanna Naidu to mobile shop $100. Fourth entry is mobile shop sends it to its employees because it's paying its employee. So like that it keeps on recording in this ledger. Now again the same problem. This ledger anyone can come and enter because it's like an Excel file ultimately, right? I can say between 4 I will add another row and say 4 Prasanna Naidu gives back to Rahul Deodhar. Now that whole thing is gone now. So to protect this manipulation, you have a cryptographic encoding. So this ledger is protected by high level of cryptographic functions, so nobody can tamper with it. Okay, people can only read it. You cannot change the previous ledger entry. Now what happens is that every $100 or every $1 carries the record of all the transactions which happened before it. Now imagine after 5,000-7,000 transactions, it will become a big ledger, right? So this is the ledger which is encoded as a blockchain. This is the blockchain. So these transactions are encoded as blocks, and there is a chain of blocks. That's why there is, because let's say 5-7 transactions put together form a block, and this block is encoded. Then there is a chain of such blocks. So that's why it's blockchain. It's basically a distributed ledger. Now this ledger, if you have this ledger, I have this ledger. I know that Prasanna Naidu has $100. You know that you have $100, but nobody else knows it. Then what is the use? So it has to be distributed. So everyone needs to know it, but nobody can tamper with it. So this kind of technology was developed by using mathematical ingenuity in a research paper by a guy called Satoshi Nakamoto. Now whether this fellow is a real person, whether he is a fictional person, nobody knows. But the paper is fantastic. It sort of created Bitcoin as a currency, and this has multiple elements to it. How it is created? It is created by mining. So mining creates Bitcoin, and what are the transactions that help mining? Basically, the transaction to encode this blockchain, transaction to validate that this process, computer process, because it is mathematical process to encode it, to read it, to validate it. That process is what creates Bitcoin for these miners. So when you and I make a transaction, that transaction is taken in, put in a code block, and that is recorded for all times. So this is the process for which they are getting paid by Bitcoin itself. So they are getting paid in Bitcoins, and that Bitcoin is then circulated through the system. They can sell this Bitcoin to you, others, like that. So this is the Bitcoin system. This is the most cryptocurrencies follow this system. Now the end of cryptocurrency is different. So cryptocurrency is not just currency. It can be used for, it's a token system basically. A token can mean anything. Suppose you want, let's say bandwidth. You want mobile data. So mobile data can also become a token, and that can be shared with you, and that can be monetized and tokenized. So anything can be tokenized. So that is the idea behind it. Storage space can be tokenized, like tomorrow Google Drive or OneDrive Pay, the amount of space you have, or The second part is, just like different things can be tokenized, even property records can be tokenized because they are transactions, but what is this tokenization? This is the blockchain part. So this is called the distributed ledger. We are taking account of distributed ledger. So now nobody can fudge a property transaction. Suppose you sell your flat to me and I sell it to someone else, and you again sell it to third party. You can't do that because that digital transaction prevents you. It will not get authenticated. Your transaction will be rejected because your selling to me was recorded first in the Bitcoin or in the blockchain, and when your next transaction comes in, it will say that this is an error. This transaction is different recorded. You don't have this money, or you don't have this property to sell again. So these are the advantages of all these blockchain part of this cryptocurrency. So like we said, within the cryptocurrency there were different parts. One is the currency part, the blockchain part, and the distributed ledger part. The distributed ledger is a concept. Blockchain is the way distributed ledger is used or manipulated. This has got tremendous potential. Okay, and this has got nothing to do with currency. This is a concept, it's a mathematical concept, and it has got fantastic applications. To my mind, the more you encourage this Bitcoin, this blockchain and distributed ledger applications, the better it is for the economy. At the same time, when you look at this, the currency part is completely a different ball game. It's, to my mind, it's a mess. And at this point, currency is not a, it's not a Bitcoin cannot, or any crypto coin can. I don't think, I would not call it a currency yet. You can call it a commodity, just like gold, because they have a finite number of Bitcoins. Now you can have another currency, another cryptocurrency which has got a little infinite number depending on how it is constructed, but Bitcoin has got finite number of Bitcoins that are going to be in the world, so there is no more. So that concept can be used as a commodity, not as a currency, because it has got many complications. Bitcoin prices fluctuate like crazy. If your rupee prices fluctuate like this, you will die, because one day bread will cost 3 rupees, another day it will cost 30 rupees, and then you will go completely, it will be completely bonkers. That is one reason. Secondly, the currency gains its importance because government accepts taxes in that currency. Currency has got no value. That paper that we deal with, saying these are 100 rupees, 2000 rupees, nothing has got any value. It has value because when you tender it to the government, your taxes, whatever worth that amount, are paid. That is the value of currency. No other value of currency, and everyone has to pay the taxes to government, so that's why we end up circulating this money. That's all. It's a choice of people believing that the government's, whatever your government paper is, this is true currency. Now I'll give an example. This Telgi, you must have heard, he created ditto stamp. Now stamp paper is also currency. So Telgi created ditto duplicate stamp of government of Maharashtra, and lakhs of rupees stamps he would send to everyone. You couldn't make out which is the genuine government stamp and fake Telgi stamp. But Telgi made a lot of money because people were ready to pay money for that. Because when you go to the government accepts that. If government starts accept Telgi stamps, people will pay for Telgi stamps. People don't care. Okay. It's what government accepts. If government starts saying this is fake stamp, I will not accept this, then people will go back and find out who is this Telgi and beat him up. That's a separate track people will follow. So same thing with Bitcoin. If government starts accepting Bitcoin, then it's a different issue. Government won't accept Bitcoin and it will not. But there is a separate reason for that, and it is another thing. Now, suppose you say, now we have discussed two parts, right? First is the value of currency keeps changing, which is a problem. Secondly, government does not collect taxes in Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin or such cryptocurrencies, that's why it's not being authenticated. Third, if you want to hold anything, like when you want to park money, like today we are talking about money in our pocket, that's a different thing. But multiple crores of billions of dollars of assets are supposed to be moving in the world. So if you are supposed to be moving this in terms of Bitcoin, it will be a big problem, because the assets can't be stored as a currency. Like वो note लेके कोई नहीं जाता है. So only in this movies where the kidnapper ask for this small money, and this small money, and have you seen kidnapper movie? Small denomination notes, meaning $5, $10 notes he wants, $1,000,000 he wants. You know how much time it will take to just count those money? $10 ka, if you start counting, even if you use machines, it will be like a headache. You can easily, cheat that fellow. So that is not feasible. It's only in, movies that they say, small denominations bring everything and then they will release the prisoner. That's not how it works. So holding Bitcoin is like carrying that sack. It's digital, so you may not feel the weight, but it's not earning anything. So what you want is, you want to invest in Bitcoin bonds, government bonds, or any such in investment grade bonds or company bonds or stocks or assets which are denominated in Bitcoin. Then you will get to a certain level where people start investing in Bitcoin bonds. So the bond is to be earning money, and then when you want, you can liquidate them and get. The next problem is that Bitcoin or any such cryptocurrency has got a built-in safety device, and nobody can validate. You can validate whether it is good. This money is with you or not, but you cannot read how it came to you, right? So this
Hmm.
transaction, it came to you rightfully or it came to you properly. That much it can say, but it cannot say this is where it came from. Now governments don't like that. So governments are also thinking of a digital currency, cryptocurrency, digital currency, whatever you may call it, a central bank
Yeah.
backed digital currency. It's called
Hmm.
CBDC, central bank digital currency. If those come in, they will know from how and where it went. Like your email can be traced from who sent this, and they can trace this fake message, who's the originator of this fake message, because there's a metadata attached to it. Just like that, you will have a currency behind which there will be a tons of metadata attached, saying ki Prasanna Naidu got this money from this, that fellow got it from here.
This data is there in blockchain, right?
It is there, but it is cryptographically, sealed, so you cannot read it. And another matter, if you want to validate the transaction, you need to perform a mathematical calculation. As you grow, the number of transactions keeps growing, the mathematical transaction becoming more and more complicated, which consumes a lot of power. So
Hmm.
if you go to Mastercard or Visa site,
Hmm.
you will see that billions of transactions happen every day. People swipe their credit card and the money goes. It's all on trust, because MasterCard is assuming the risk that when you swipe your credit card, you will pay. That this is valid credit card. That some risk MasterCard takes, some risk the banker takes. So everyone takes the risk, saying ki this guy will pay this money. Okay, this is a genuine transaction. The money doesn't change hands till 30-40 days later when you receive the statement and when you
Hmm.
pay the credit card bill. Money, meaning they get that, but that is all based on credit. It's all based on trust. So these transactions start developing and then they start collapsing, saying ki finally Prasanna is paid, this is done, this is all done, and the whole transaction chain is now clear. So the money goes to the once you accept this transaction, okay, saying ki I bought the
Hmm.
mobile, this credit card swipe is correct. Money goes to that vendor,
Hmm.
but it is still there is a credit. So all this thing, all this trust gets closed, and the transaction is completely cleared once you pay the bill.
Yeah.
Okay, so all these things are multiple transactions. Each transaction, if you see, is a transaction there are within a transaction. So bank is lending to you because bank is giving you 30-40 days credit, right?
Yeah.
At zero interest rate. So it
Hmm.
is also extending some credit. That's also a transaction. Bank is paying that other bank on its behalf. Out of
Hmm.
that, bank is paying Visa or Mastercard some money. That is another transaction. So all these transactions will have to be validated. Now, I'm
Hmm.
not saying in Bitcoin it doesn't happen that way. It will happen. Number of transactions will be less, but the validation process is so tedious that it will take a lot of time and
Yeah,
power cost.
as you said that the government is also planning for a digital currency, and they'll have kind of metadata which will be similar to the blockchain thing which we are thinking about. But even there, it will be tedious.
No, government will not see. That is the beauty. No, see that's the thing. When you are the designer, you will make sure that it is adequately compromised so that you can easily go and read everything, and no one else can do it. The problem is that once a software code which government can read, there are many people who can crack it and read. There are many hackers.
No, no,
So
exactly. So it must be tedious so that others can't hack it, right?
again, same problem, right? But same problem. See, why is Bitcoin so tedious? Because it is secure. Okay.
Yeah.
If it was easy to hack, then you can make it easy to easy, like faster, but then it is easy to hack. So the mathematical complications introduced are such that it is difficult to hack.
Yeah, so even with the government digital currency, to make it secure, it must be complicated, na?
Huh. No, but you understand government complication, right? Government complication means for good people it will be complicated, for bad people it will be streamlined easy, because वो police को पैसा देगा and then he will be getting all your bitcoin gone like that. Meaning whatever you're in.
So that is the main thing I found is good in cryptocurrencies. It decentralized. So there is no central authority. So we trust the government, and when we talk about government, it's not a particular political party. We are talking about the kind of concept of government, or so we trust them, and they act as an authority. We authorize them to handle these institutions, mainly financial institutions like RBI and stuff. So our money is under their hands basically, and then there are so many scams happening. There are so many like as you said, that there is trust factor when the bank gives you money and all, but there are many people who default on payment and repayment. Then all that repayment, all those scams and all are indirectly goes from our money.
I completely agree.
So this, I don't want to pay them. I don't want to. Why? It's
No.
completely like it's injustice, right? So if there is no central authority, then such things won't happen, and my money will be used for me. And yeah, that's the purpose
This
of
is
me earning money for me. Right?
exactly, this is what people believe, but this is not the correct way to look at it. See, when nobody is responsible, you are at the worst, you're worse off than if someone is responsible. When anyone talks of decentralization, it means that, in a bit someone will vanish. Okay, let's suppose you have bitcoins. Okay, bitcoin, suppose the computer hard drive gets corrupted, and it has happened. Okay, billions of bitcoins are lost in a trash can because the hard drive got corrupted. These bitcoins are lost. That time they were, nobody was bothering about it. It was new thing. How do you recover?
Hmm.
Can't help it. Can't help it. Nobody is responsible, right?
Hmm.
It is more of a jungle Raj when nobody is responsible. You are responsible for yourself. And that means a weaker person is responsible for himself. And which means you are going to beat that fellow, get his laptop and his Bitcoin and his password, and transfer the money. That is what government prevents. So government, see, we have to trust someone. There cannot be a trustless system. There is a trustless system is installed, but can it be on a currency? It can be, this can be verified. This can be verified. But if, let's say, if I manage to find, let's say tomorrow quantum computer comes and it is able to hack into this, suddenly all your bitcoins will become zero, and all my bitcoins I will become the billionaire.
Hmm.
This is, so there are, whenever you make a radical step like this, you have to be careful. And that's the reason why RBI banned it, because, people trading and the amount of money, first of all, Bitcoin, because it's easy to carry, it can be carried in a pen drive or a hard disk.
Hmm.
It's a very, very powerful means for money laundering. Fantastic equipment for money laundering. Hawala will love them because it is anonymous. You cannot trace it. Why people are against central bank digital currency? Because the governments can read it. FBI or India's people, police agencies or intelligence agencies or Russians or all these intelligence will get access. Who is this guy paying? Your privacy will go entirely. And there is a question of, this will become a question of privacy. Today you go to a vada pav vendor and buy a vada pav, nobody cares. But now when all your digital transactions leave a footprint, which government will tell you, your tax we have calculated is so and so.
And government knows that how many times you had vada pav.
Yeah, it will know, because you had so many vada pav. In fact, in one of my companies when I was working, we had this policy. Okay, and this is how people with authority impinge on people who are genuinely working. So what happened was this: after, if you work late in the night, you are allowed to order dinner at company expense. Okay, simple concept. The limit for that dinner bill was like, I think, 800 rupees or 600 rupees or something.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this fellow, he stayed back. He was working in my team. He stayed back. He was working at 11:30 or 12. He ordered something. His allowance was 600 or 700 something. His bill was 500.
Hmm.
But in that 500, if you see, there were two pizzas. There was a palak paneer. There was this thing. So the enquiry came. Did you eat all of this? I said, what do you care if he ate or not ate?
Hmm.
He working till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock? Yes, he was working. In fact, he was working till next day morning also. He was in office only. So the question is, was his allowance 600, or was his allowance less or more? His allowance was more. His amount is less. Then what is your problem? Let him eat.
Exactly.
And what if he eats two pizzas and whatever palak? I don't know what he ordered, but some Indian also he ordered some naan. And what is your problem? Because he must have thought कि I am sitting through the night, मेरे को भूख लगेगा, मैं क्या खाएगा? सुबह से कुछ खाया नहीं था उसने. So whatever is the reason, why are you concerned about if he is eating all of this? He will be worried about his own weight. Let him worry.
Yeah.
So the thing is, this is what happens when power is there, and you have control over someone. The minute government will get control of your currency, they will look into everything. Prasanna, how come you are having these 120 vada pavs, every
Hmm.
month? Why I can't have सुबह शाम रात में वड़ा पाव तो खाता ही हूँ. Without vada pav I can't start my lunch. Then the problem is that then they will start putting this cost on you when you go for health insurance, because health insurance they will share this data. Ki Prasanna Naidu eats 120 vada pavs every month. Then he must be high risk on some whatever diabetes, I don't know, whatever it is. And then they will say ki, your insurance premium is higher. You might be fit otherwise. There is no need to discriminate against you. But your choice has been hampered, right?
Yeah.
So this is exactly what makes it bad. You should not be sort of interfering in the privacy of your life, and digital currencies, unless they are properly secure, they can give you this insight
Hmm.
into what is happening. So cryptocurrencies may you will lock it, but lock means who will open it? See, the thing is, government is the last person. Government cannot keep the national secrets secret. Okay, your data and my data, will they keep it secret? That is, for, and when the data is in such large volumes, I'm sure this data will be, because you are
Leaked.
exchanging this data over telephone or mobile data, or, over internet or something. So these providers are also capturing that data.
Yeah.
So everything will be, controlled. So
Hmm.
cryptocurrencies, we started with the discussion that cryptocurrencies have variety of issues, but the underlying technology, which is blockchain technology, which is distributed ledger technology, is superbly important. And we need entrepreneurs in India to work on this technology. So blockchain, distributed ledger, there should be a distinct clarity and differentiation between these two, and this technology should be allowed. So contracts can be automated. For example, this escrow system we have, right? So whenever you
Hmm.
deliver the goods, you can give me the money, or whatever such kind of contracts. So there is, I will keep the money in the bank. Whenever you deliver the goods, you will get it. So that
Yeah.
those kinds of contracts can be very easily augmented with distributed ledger system or blockchain technology, which can be triggered automatically. So there is a lot of potential in blockchain and distributed ledger system. But as a currency, we have to be aware. It's a highly risky thing, and as of now, we can't tag it as currency. We should tag it as a commodity.
So by commodity, you're saying as a tradable commodity?
Yes,
No.
like rice, wheat, metal, like gold. Gold is also.
If it is used as a tradable commodity, it will be used as currency by many people unofficially.
No. That is there, but what I'm saying is, I'm not saying we should allow it. What I'm saying is, we should, when you consider Bitcoin or these kinds of things, we can't consider them as currency. We have to look
Hmm.
at them as commodity. Okay, this is a commodity. Do you want this? I mean, gold also can be smuggled, right? You can also
Hmm.
smuggle gold and diamonds. Diamonds you can put in the pocket and take it across, pay in Dubai, Daud gang or some gang you can pay. And it's very easy. So same way Bitcoin can also be used. So that kind of regulation you have to apply. This is how you have
Hmm.
to think about regulation. If you start thinking, you have to say that definitely it's not a currency. So ban it as a currency as of now. We will rework it, let it develop. My point is that the using of this thing as a trading, as a medium of exchange is very, very dangerous at this point, because there is lot of volatility in its value, and it creates its own problems and challenges. So let's not deal with it as a currency as of now. Look at it as a valuable commodity. When you are a regulator, you need to put it in some basket, right? So
Hmm.
that is the problem. When regulators look at it, it's like Bitcoin, but a digital currency, like it's a cryptocurrency. So let it be regulated as currency. If you regulate, or if you do something, if you think of it as a currency, you will not get the right picture. That's what I'm saying. And if you ban it completely, keep this system we don't want, then it's again a big harm, because the distributed ledger system and blockchain technology is a very valuable technology. So we can use it. Let's use it. Suppose your driving license changes, right? So all these changes can be recorded by a blockchain. And this distributed ledger means anywhere you post it, you show your, now today what happens? Today you take your driving license, which, let's say, it's in Marathi and English, but let's say it is in Marathi, and you go to, let's say, Orissa, in a remote corner, and you show that is your driving license. Now their format is different, my format is different. So how will they recognize? Let's say you go to Nigeria and you show this license. They can't read Marathi, but they will
Hmm.
be able to validate that this is authentic because of
Hmm.
this kind of blockchain technology. So this is the benefit of that technology. You can use that. You can use creatively. You can create some infrastructure for the world, like our digital stack and all that. Once we start playing with that infrastructure, we can create some interesting products for the world.
But people who are demanding that there must be regulations for cryptocurrencies, some people are also saying that it can help in reviving economy and fulfill the 5 trillion economy which we are thinking about.
See, I don't know. So, given the way Bitcoin in prices are behaving, it will be 5 trillion on Monday and 2 trillion on Thursday. So, this will be very difficult to handle for government also. Okay. The way prices are moving, it's very highly volatile. So, clearly, as a currency, definitely not. And the real value, I'm telling you, it can unleash a lot of creativity in the blockchain side of it. So there is enough opportunity for tech entrepreneurs to use the blockchain side of it for global and Indian product and services also. So that is a completely open area. I would say that has the potential to sort of, let's say, create another Skype or some company like that, Nokia, which is $1 billion company. Nowadays, Nokia nobody recognizes, but still it is a mobile equipment provider. Some of these companies are $1 billion companies, so we can create some huge companies, if and 5 trillion or not, but it's definitely a worthwhile industry to be in, the blockchain and distributed ledger system.
Okay, but I have seen that it is valid in many countries to trade, like it is used as a currency, and there are many like websites like Amazon and all who completely use this cryptocurrencies. So how are they doing it, and why is it not affecting them like in a negative way, as you were saying?
See, I mean, it's not affecting them in a negative way. It's a transaction. You can use it as one of the transactions. It's not like that
Hmm.
you cannot use. But what I'm saying is to get to that transaction, as of now, it is not clear what kind of interest. See, I'll tell you, your loyalty points were there for your credit card.
Yeah.
So you have 1,000 points, you have 10,000 points. They keep sending you these messages. You have
Hmm. Hmm.
1,000 points. You can buy something. Now 1,000 points. Each point is 10. Basically each 100 points means 1 rupee, something like that. Okay. Do
Yeah.
you really remember what is the price when they sold you the credit card? It was 10 points is 1 rupee. Now it is 100 points is 1 rupee. It keeps
Hmm.
changing, and you don't care because the value is something else you're using credit card for. This is something ancillary, but if this becomes main, you will become, you know they are charging, let's say, because now it's very highly valuable, it's like 0.003 bitcoins for a Starbucks coffee.
Hmm.
Okay, things like that they are doing now. The You can do it, but the thing is, if something changes its value so much, you really, it doesn't so what happens is, why do I give you money, and I don't give you fruit, let's say, for a mobile? I can give 50,000 worth of bananas, right? You can't use that
Hmm.
bananas because you can eat only, maybe 100 bananas, but rest will get spoiled. You can't use them. You don't want 50,000 bananas for one mobile phone. You will not accept that trade. You give me 50,000 rupees. No, but one banana for 1 rupee. You can get 50,000 bananas. What is wrong with it? So banana cannot become a currency. Gold can become. Why? Gold, you can sink it into the bottom of the ocean also. It will still remain. But still you cannot. That's why. But if you see the amount of development that happened with gold was not as much, because gold is physical. You have to move it. You have to put it in
Yeah.
a boat and sail it, and then pirates can attack you.
Hmm.
All these things, risks are there. So currency is not just what we trade in. I give you 100 rupees note, and you give me 5 rupee, 20 rupee coin. Those are that is hardly that. Currency is a whole ecosystem where there is a bank, there is a market to. Suppose I come with 100 crores of money to invest in
Hmm.
some plant. I want to start a new steel plant. So 100 crores, I can't keep it in my pocket. I'll put it in the government of India bonds or some where safe investments. And then as and when I need it, I'll say, "Okay, sell these bonds and I'll get that money and I'll invest, or I'll keep it in my account where it is in digital form." And then you will not earn anything, then it's of no use. Do you keep 100 crores in your account, saving account? उसपे interest भी नहीं मिलता है. So even if whatever, when we have saving account which gives
I
me
was I was I was just imagining if I had 100 crores in my account.
no no, that is a good thing to imagine, but definitely what I'm saying is that whatever money you have in your savings account, you would want to keep as much as you need. Rest you want to keep it in fixed deposit or something of that sort where it will earn a higher interest rate. In savings
Hmm.
also you earn, but in an account where you earn zero, because if you put a gold brick in your house, you are very rich, but it's a brick. It's not going to earn and multiply into two. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just so that's why gold doesn't earn you the interest. That is a big,
Hmm.
big advantage of having a currency as a system. And Bitcoin, the problem is that you have one Bitcoin. Tomorrow it will be $40,000. Next day it will be $20,000. And you will not know, you will go into the shop. Yeah, yeah, I have $40,000. You will say, yeah, I will buy this car for. Like, no, you need two Bitcoins. Huh? It's like 100% inflation. So that won't do.
So people who are using it is completely like on
Risky.
100% risk.
It's
Hmm.
it's very risky as of now. Let it stabilize. It has to stabilize, and the currency gets stability because large volume is consumed by government, issued by government, and
Hmm.
government has its own currency.
Hmm.
That is what gives that currency. So currency, in fact, if you want to look at investments also, in investments, currencies have the least volatility. Their prices don't move that much. on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, or even annual basis. They don't move that much as compared to, let's say, if you take steel prices and gold price. Gold is also still a, but if you say ki dollar rupee rate and oil prices, dollar rupee rate has gone from 75 to 78 and it's 70 to 80, it's moving. Oil prices have gone from 70 to 20, and one day they also went negative, and now they are back at 55. What will you do? So this is the volatility of commodity, has got a lot of volatility. Currencies do not have that much volatility. So currencies have to be stable. Otherwise, you can't simply have, daily things moving that much, right? कि आज मैं टैक्सी में गया, like when you go to Japan you get a sticker shock because taxi costs 50,000 yen, 20,000 yen, because yen is $1 is 100 yen or 103 yen basically. So basically your 100 times everything gets multiplied. So if you get a $20 and taxis are also costly, it gets 20,000 because distance is also large. So everything becomes multiplied. Oh my God, $100 instead of $100 fare for the day. Now I am incurring 100,000 yen. So it becomes like, how much am I paying? That whole thing becomes, So you can't have those kinds of numbers. Today you get 1,000 rupees for a Coke.
Yeah.
And then next day you pay 10 rupees. It can't be that volatile. That's the whole point.
But this Japanese yen and all, the example you use, the value is the same, na? Only the numbers vary.
Numbers vary, but you get a sticker shock. So I'm saying ki, imagine when in your own currency this kind of thing happens. Right?
Okay.
So we know that Japanese yen is stable currency. But still when we go to Japan, when we see that prices, it is, even on website you check, sometimes they give prices in Japanese or Indonesian rupiah. It's like horrendous. Oh my God, what is this price? How much am I paying? So that's how it becomes. And then, so its psychology of price is also important. Price stability is why tomorrow if you are working, so when you get a salary, 1 month the salary comes 500,000, whatever coins. And next month it comes 500 coins. Then you will be getting a shock, right? What is your salary? Is it 500? Is it 500,000? What is this? So
I think there's also a book named Psychology of Money. I don't know if it's related to what you are talking, but it's quite popular. Many people are reading.
I don't know, but so there is also this element of money and currency. So cryptocurrencies have a long way to go. They have some interesting points, and blockchain and the distributed ledger are definitely, that we can definitely say is a good technology, and we have to do something on it.
Okay, so let's see how it goes. Currently, from what I understand, and even you all must have understand that it's quite risky. There's cryptocurrencies, and let's see if it stabilizes in future, so that we can invest and use it properly as a currency. I hope even Rahul sir will, be in a positive mindset then of using it as a currency. Let's see. And that's it for this episode. Hope you liked it, and if you liked it, do follow us here so that you don't miss out a new episode, and do follow us on Instagram and Twitter, on follow, and YouTube for new videos. Thank you.
Thank you.